So what's on the menu today?
Today I decided that I'm going to talk about my connection with food, my love for cookbooks, and how that led me to ending up designing the best restaurants around. My mornings have to always start with a good Illy coffee. So without that, I cannot function. This tray is like, it's so cute. I found it in London during Design Week. And it's all about these adorable objects, and you're meant to see them for 1 minute, and then you cover it with a piece of cloth, and you're supposed to remember what's on. Cookbooks that were given to me were by my mother. She was so passionate about food, and I grew up learning all about, actually, I would say this was the one, The Joy of Cooking. And she used to talk to me a lot about Claudia Roden. So I grew up with these Bibles that led me to meeting Claudia at the Royal College of Art, who I invited her so she could come and talk about food and its influence onto the world, Middle Eastern food basically. The Joy of Cooking is one of the most famous cookbooks around that was handed down to me from my mother. It's a classic American cookbook with basic recipes full of wonderful information, and the diagrams are superb. So that's the beginning, and I used to really engross myself in this cookbook during the Civil War in Beirut. So just learning about how things are done. And then they came up with this other version, so you can see the difference between the two, and the graphics is superb. That's another one, The Geometry of Pasta, by a dear friend from London, Kaz. Super cookbook. Eating and Drinking, I love that, the whole book of how to eat and drink. Of course, the classic Chez Panisse, and then this adorable one, A Taste of Dream, which I gave to my mother. Look how cute. With all my little kind of love messages and hearts. And obviously, to the famous Comptoir Libanais. My involvement with Comptoir Libanais was as a result of designing the brand for the restaurant with Tony Kitos. So here, I actually led on the art direction with Dan Leppard, the photographer. He's a very well-known photographer, food photographer mainly. And of course, I'd love to show you a bit of how the brand was born.
How did you meet Tony?
Gosh, Tony Kitos, I met him on Tinder. No, I met him in London. He came to my design studio desperately looking for someone to find a solution for his problem. This is our lovely friend Tony. And I think I was the chosen one. When Tony commissioned us, he was working along with the architecture house called Born, and we started sketching along with them the graphics, and we were feeding the design studio with Middle Eastern pop images. So from interior, we also work on logos and many sketches for the clients so they can see different options to choose from. And you can see actually beside it the color connection here. Look, can you see like how things subconscious are extracted from found objects in the Middle East? And these were all the color options. And then I think we settled for the orange as being part of the brand. It's just beautiful to see a process of how branding gets developed. It's really like giving birth to a baby. And I mean, look at the simplicity of all the connection here. That's the tie that became a signature pattern in Comptoir. And the other ingredients that I always use and I'm in love with is my Pantone references. Pantones are literally like the key to cooking as a designer. Delicious. A lot of people ask me about my fascination of portraits, and I love capturing faces from the Middle East. They're just so beautiful and so gregarious and so sexy and flamboyant. So from my collection of Egyptian cinema posters, you'll see here there's a huge archive of just not just portraits, of a whole wealth of history and technique. So we extract a lot of beautiful colors from these posters. The combination of pink and green, for example, that with the black, and I'll show you how we've used that in our brand when we did our own personal branding called Yasalam Patisserie. This is the famous Sabah poster. It's a classic. The beautiful illustrations of belly dances, and as you can see, again, we go back to the subject of plus size, which is very fashionable in that period. This has a slight echo of Hollywood graphics. There was a lot of influence between Egypt and Hollywood, so
It's the cinema.
It's the cinema culture, of course. What I love about the posters is I really see design like cooking. I just find delicious elements and I throw them into my next project, and then we have something completely different, like a new dish to eat. So taking all of these wonderful ingredients and then turning them into a completely different cocktail. And the whole mission of this branding technique is to change people's perception about the Middle East. It's like people are so used to seeing the negativity or its stillness in the past, and my mission is to really take it and transform it into something completely different that's so desirable and so attractive and so positive. Literally like a chef, so you kind of put things in a blender, and that's the blender of my brain basically. Change it and magically transform it. So branding is magical.